Hey, what's going on everyone? Welcome back to the Beamer Barn. In today's episode, I'm going to show you how to restore faded paint from the sun that's kind of turned a different color just like this. The fenders on my E39 M5 wagon need some serious love, so we're going to pull out our dual action polisher, a microfiber pad, and some compound and see exactly what we can do to get this paint looking top notch. Now, as you can see here, the hood looks a lot better than the fender here, and it's because the hood was repainted recently. And by recently, I mean the previous owner who had the car had the hood repainted because I'm sure that it looked just like this. And so when they repainted it, whoever did it did kind of not the best job, I'm not gonna lie. And they got like some tree sap or something underneath the paint, and you just got all these bubbles everywhere. And it's not like they're water based, like you could like poke through them, but they're hard. There's something underneath those. So this hood definitely needs to be sanded down, as well as the roof. Both of these were repainted at the same time, but what wasn't repainted was this rear roof spoiler. So we have a couple of spots to work on the E39 M5 wagon. We're gonna see if we can get this stuff to look 100% brand new using just those couple of tools and just some time and commitment. So let's go ahead and grab everything out. We're gonna start by washing the fender as well as the rear spoiler, and that way we'll have a contaminant-free surface. And then we're gonna use some spray and some soap and our clay bar to remove any dirt from this, and then we're gonna remove the trim and the side marker, obviously. And then we're gonna pull out our polisher and polish this thing up and see if we can get it to match the clear coat that's on the hood. And that way it just won't be as visible here on the side of the car that the fender is like all faded and stuff. I think it's gonna clean up the front end. So let's go ahead and, like I said, let's pull out our bucket and let's wash these fenders. So I gave this fender a quick wash, and I actually decided we're just gonna focus on one piece of the puzzle at a time. So this will be our test panel. You can see I washed it, but now I'm gonna keep my bucket close because I've got this Meguiar's car soap in here mixed in, and we're gonna use our Meguiar's clay bar to clay bar this and try to get any dirt, anything out of the paint, and then we'll go ahead and sponge it off again to just make sure this thing's 100% clean. And then I think that we're going to tape off the body because I don't want to accidentally go through the paint. You can see right here, this car has been buffed before, and there's actually still some residue in the crack there. So we're gonna mask off the other fenders that are dirty that we don't want to contaminate our pad with. We have to mask off probably the headlight as well, and the lower bumper. You can see again some more, look, it's even coming off. That's old compound residue that wasn't washed out. So that's something to keep in mind is when you do this work, you definitely want to wash your car afterwards, get all this old compound residue out. But anyways, yeah, let's go ahead and clay bar this thing. So unfortunately the battery died on my camera, but as you saw, we were clay barring it, and then we went to spraying off the soap and the clay bar residue, and we used a chamois to dry it off, and then a microfiber to get it perfectly dry like it is now. So you can see the paint is much cleaner, I guess, but still plenty of faded paint here. So we're gonna go ahead and mask off the hood and the fender, and then we'll use our compound and our dual action polisher to get to work. there you go. I've got the front half of the fender worked pretty good. Look at that, guys. That gloss is really starting to come out. One thing though is I think I'm going to pop the hood open so I can get closer to this edge here, because I don't know if the hood's perfectly aligned with the fender and it's kind of causing this haziness, and the rest of the fender looks to be pretty clear. So you can see how the difference is already. It already looks much better over here. And yeah, I'm just working one quarter of it at a time, just so that we're not overworking the area or letting our compound go dry. So what I'm gonna do now is put the hood up, and then I'll work this this line right here along the fender, and then I'll work this rear section, and then we'll have a good idea of what this fender looks like all cleaned up. Look at this, guys. About 45 minutes of compounding, and I feel like we have made a huge improvement. Look at this, top to bottom, all the way up here even. Actually, my only worry now is that since the front end was repainted at a separate time than the rear end, I feel like we might see a little bit of difference in color, because there's definitely more of a green tint to this and more of a purple tint to the rest of the car, which is a little more factory to the Biarritz Blau color, in my opinion. So yeah, unfortunately a little bit discoloration. But in terms of the glossiness, it looks like absolute glass, like butter. You could probably go another layer and put some polish on, and that would bring out the color. So compound, in case you didn't know, brings out the flat finish, but it does leave micro scratches in the paint. So in order to get that out, you use polish, and polish gets rid of those micro scratches and brings out that final touch of color from the fender and a lot more gloss from the paint. But we're not gonna do that for now. We're just trying to get off the sun fading. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull the tape off, clean up, and show you guys the difference, some cool shots. And then we're gonna do this fender, and I'm gonna do that off camera because it's the same as the front side here. And then for our last step, we're gonna take care of this roof spoiler here, and I'm gonna show you guys that in detail, time lapse going from this to our hopefully super glossy finish. So let's go ahead and focus on this fender now, and then we'll get to that. Check it out, check it out. It looks super good. Came out great. The gloss is immense. It does have a little bit of like pitting and stuff. You know, it doesn't look like the original paint job, and it's not the best paint job. But just polishing it out like that with that compound gave it the glossiness that it needs. I almost feel like the car is going to be more aerodynamic now. But at least it doesn't take away from the rear end anymore, having that matte finish. That was kind of gross. So it looks a lot better from the rear now. Just super happy with how this came out. Super, super happy. Just looks buttery smooth. And the same story on the front fender as well. You guys saw me try to get a couple clips of that, but it came out super glossy as well. Probably more glossy, better finish than like the hood and the rest of the car. So I tried not to go too deep, too intense on it. Just wanted to make it look better. And now what we're gonna have to do is we need to wash the car, and then we need to moisturize and protect this paint so it doesn't happen like this again. So that means putting like a ceramic coat, or if you're the kind of person that likes to use waxes, you can use a wax, but of course those don't last as long. So definitely gonna do like a turtle wax ceramic hybrid spray after I wash it here in a second, and that should seal this up to match the rest of the car. So that's going to conclude our video for today. I hope you guys enjoyed watching me restore the faded fenders on my E39, and hopefully if your BMW is suffering from a similar issue, this will motivate you and show you the basic steps that you need in order to get a great finish out of something that looks like it might be forever ruined. So if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like down below, comment what you thought of this little paint restoration process, and be sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel and you haven't yet. As always, I hope everyone has an awesome day, and we'll see you in the next video.